Good day, everybody. My name is Troy Bernier, and this is the Miami International Science Fiction Film Festival. And today we have the short film Hold You So Tight. We're going to have a discussion with Ed Rudnick, and we're going to learn more about this film. And you probably know Ed Rudnick, for you film reality people out there. We're going to share some links and some good stuff. So we're going to go down that line and memories and talk about this film. It's actually a really good film regarding androids and mental health. It's spun in a very, very interesting way. So let's bring on Eric and let's enjoy. Hey, how you doing there?
I'm doing well. Good to see you, Troy.
Good to see you, Ed. And how do we pronounce your last name? Rud? Is that Rudnick?
So it's Eric with a C, Rudnick with a CK.
All right, Eric Rudnick. I think I got it right there.
Yeah.
So, how'd you come into making this film? Hold You So Tight. What's the backstory, and why is it called Hold You So Tight? And don't give, of course, don't spill all the beans.
Right. So my day job for a long time, I was a reality TV producer and I was working on a sci-fi project and the pilot never aired, but the
Oh,
robot that I met on that pilot I knew was a movie star and I said, "You better write something for this."
wait a second.
Yeah.
Wait a second. The robot on the pilot.
Yeah.
The robot on the pilot.
Right. So they
And you
brought
told and you told the robot. Okay, go on.
so I the robot was amazing in terms of how it was built. And then when it moved, I said, that is crazy. And I talked to the person who created the robot.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, I would love to work with you sometime. And then 6 short years later, we made this film.
Wow. Wow. That's different. Like I said earlier back in the green room that there's surprises all every year, and these android stories are becoming more and more interesting. We've got quite a many interesting, I call them android films, that the interaction between them and human beings, and it's not Terminator anymore. It's not Terminator anymore. It's not, busting down the door and getting rid of all the humans. It's we're doing this together. And I think that's a positive spin. That's a positive spin. So, um, tell us a little bit more about the length of production, how you were able to cast the people on board. I'm going to get some of these photos we have here. We don't
So I,
have
re-
a trailer for you,
I
right? We
don't
don't
have
have
a
a trailer.
trailer. I don't.
Okay.
It's a 12-page script that came out to 17 minutes long. We needed an actor who could stand toe to toe with the robot. We were lucky enough to
Right.
get Charisma Carpenter from Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel, and so she read the script and agreed to do it. And
Okay.
she's the lead. She's great.
Okay. 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 And tell us a little more. When was it shot? How long did it take?
We
How
shot it.
was what were some of the challenges?
We shot it over 2 days and a couple of hours.
Wow, that's fast.
Yeah, well, I had a great crew, and when you have a crew that is nimble and has read the script,
Yeah,
you can get through the day pretty quickly. We shot
that's right.
at a motel here in Los Angeles, and we shot inside, outside, and then we needed a little bit of a different look, and so we found a place downtown that we just run and gun with no
Hmm.
permit
Hmm.
and just crossed our fingers, and it all worked out.
Is it easy to shoot without a permit in LA? I would think not.
Well, if you have one camera, which we did, and one camera operator who was also our DP, and just me
Sure.
and the actor Tamika Caton Donegal, who's also my wife, then you have three people on a corner. It kind of looks like a fashion shoot. So you know, nobody stopped us.
Okay. Okay, that's positive. Been on some quite a few scenes, guerrilla filmmaking in Miami,
Mhm.
in South Florida. So I get it. I get it. That's interesting. Awesome. I see that you shot on an Arri digital
Yeah,
camera. Did you specifically shoot downgrade it down to 1080, or was this done in post?
My DP, who I met at through a short film. I went to support a friend of mine who had a short film. It was sci-fi
Hmm.
at a festival here in Los Angeles. It was the best looking film in that block.
What was it called?
It was called Together Forever.
Okay.
And I went and I was blown away by how beautiful it looked. And then I said, I'd
Hmm.
love to meet your DP. And then he said, I'll do it for free if you rent the camera package that I want. So of course I did. And that's the reason the film looks so good is Davey Robertson, the DP, and Robert Carreri, the colorist. And those guys are the reason that the film looks as it does.
I was gonna say the color grading is what did it, and I think I've got some photos here. Um, let's see. I'm gonna share if you don't mind. I'd like to
Sure.
share some photos here.
We had a really, really fun time doing it. And then I didn't have any auditions. The other actors were all friends of mine. So it
Yes.
was very easy to kind of get them on board.
Wait a second. Ed, you're in the film.
Yes, that's me in the film.
I didn't put the connection there because I'm like, wait a second. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. Frequently, we see kind of about. We don't see as many of the directors, creators in their own films these days. Um, we still see them, but not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. Here we go. So this robot was in what show that you interacted with
I
previously?
was working on a pilot that was being produced by Ridley Scott's company, and they brought this robot on set, and then the pilot never aired. So nobody had ever seen the robot in that. People have seen this robot before. It's open source. Anyone can make one if you have the
Okay.
recipe.
Okay.
Made by this gentleman Gale in Europe. He created it and invented it, and then he just said, "Hey, here's the recipe if anybody wants to make it." And
Wow.
the gentleman who made it for me, not for me, but made it, and who I, when I saw it, he did not only the 3D printing to make the skin, but he also made the servers that make it move. So he has
Wow.
kind of a genius level mentality to get this done, and that is a rare, rare find when you're trying to make a movie and step up your
Wow.
production value. His name is Alan Tim, and he's incredible. And Walter Martinez is the other robot tech who worked on this with me.
So let me ask you this question. What was the name of the pilot?
The pilot was a reality show
Hmm.
with AI versus humans. And so we shot it in 2 days, and then it didn't go to air. I'm not sure why, but
I can
it
tell you.
happens. I've worked on a few of those where it's just, you're trying to make a proof of concept or an actual pilot that would be the first episode of a series.
Yeah, I can understand why they don't release because there's an idea to do something else. This is just to get it through the filter, to get to the table and do something else. Or maybe something else happened. There's a lot of pushback on AI, which when you come later this month, you will hear some of it. We've got some interesting takes behind a lot of it, and it'll be interesting. It'll be very, very interesting dialogue. I could tell you that much. What about the how has the reception been with with the film? How well is it done at other? Have you sent it to other festivals? What has been the reception on this?
Well, I love that shot because the apple boxes. I love.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we had to lift everything up. Reception has been good. This is our 12th festival. We've been in sci-fi festivals, including Berlin and
Oh,
Boston. And
that's
then we've
right.
been in straight film festivals like River Bend and San Jose. And then we've been in just festivals that have shorts. And so I feel like it's hitting the right spot with the festival programmers. And you don't know that when you make it. You just hope that it does well. So I feel like we're
Yeah.
doing
Yeah,
pretty well, and there's a production company that's shown some interest, and I'm working with them currently to get it to get. I have a feature that takes
yes,
place in the same world, and so we're working on
yes,
that, getting it to people.
yes. I could tell you right now, what you have is a human film, right? This is a human film. So you're taking sci-fi elements and you're taking those applying those futuristic, meaning AI, applying those AI elements to the human. What's the word for it? But to humanity. You're connecting it to humanity because there's a mental health component to the film. And so when you were in Berlin, did you meet Hal or you didn't go?
I didn't go to Berlin because we had that weekend we were in 4 festivals, so we had to pick which one
Okay,
we were gonna go to.
okay,
It was
okay.
just a very nice, surprise for us to get into, Topanga and
Hmm.
Berlin and
Hmm.
Brooklyn, which was virtual, and then we were in the New York Long Island Film Festival, which is where I'm from and where my wife is from, so we decided to go there because our family and friends are mostly there, and
What part of Strong Island?
we were in, the festival was in Lindenhurst, Long Island.
No kidding.
Yeah.
In Five Towns. That's
Oh,
Five
no,
Towns.
I'm sorry, not Lindenhurst. It was in, what is the name of the town?
Because Lindenhurst is part of Five Towns.
Yeah, this was a little further east than that.
Oh, a
I
little
can't
further east.
remember. I'm from Long Island, and I can't remember. But I'm from Massapequa, and, it was about 20 minutes from where I grew up. So
So
it
it's the
was
what? The Long Island what? Long
New
Island.
York Long Island Film Festival.
I'm from Hollis.
Is that right?
Yes.
Queens. There we go.
So, oh wow, Long Island International Film Expo. That is so cool. Leaf life.
It was just, my mom was able to come and all our families and friends were able to come and we had a fantastic time. Really, really something. Um,
Yeah.
the guy who runs it, Jerry Ferretti, went to the same high school as me, so it was quite something.
So it was more of a homecoming.
Sort of, yeah.
Oh, that's neat, man. That is neat.
Yeah, we had
That
a
is
good time.
neat.
But every festival is different, and we're just glad, there's nothing better than sitting in a theater watching people watch your film.
That's yeah,
It's really the
yeah,
best.
yeah. It's part of the movie magic.
Yeah, for
Getting the
sure.
response. I'm trying to get the location. It's in Nassau. It's in Nassau County. It looks like.
Yeah, yeah,
So
and it's
okay.
towards the end.
Yeah.
It was great. We had a really, really good time, and I'm just grateful that, people have because you never know when, you send something out into the world, you don't know if it's, oh, they have 18 movies that have a robot like that, or, you know,
Sure.
they don't, ours is it's on the long end of a short, so it's 17 minutes, so sometimes that can, you know, be hard to
Well, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, a couple things about what you said previously, but to go back to where I was, the recipe that you put together here, your film has what we call broad viewership.
I love that.
So that's the reason why the non-genre festivals are picking it up. So that's that mental health component, which is anxiety is such a big deal, and it's a in most urban centers,
Mhm.
even suburbia, it's a problem. There's definitely an anxiety issue in the United States,
Yes.
and it's because we're overwhelmed with social media. We're overwhelmed with the same repetitive news cycle,
Mhm.
saying the same things, constant same thing. There's so much news going on. There's so much
Mhm.
news, but we're getting only certain things that are coming out.
Right.
So it's creating a level of anxiety for people. And
Yeah.
either you just tune out or you get on some vice
Mhm.
or you live in remote wherever where you don't even have internet, which I've got family that do that. Over there around the Tahoe. So that's you are addressing a major problem in the U.S. with this film. So that's why it's touching so many people, and programmers are saying, "No, we're going to take that." So the good part is that now that you have this understanding and know this recipe, you can target those kinds of festivals. Hint, hint, Sedona Film Festival. Hint, hint, Flyaway Film Festival. Hint, hint, Traverse City Film Festival. Okay, so there'll be people that are going to be interested in that and will vouch for the film to be in the festival.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. The
Yeah,
town that the New York Long Island Film Festival is in is Lindenhurst.
Lindenhurst. Yeah, Lindenhurst is still part of Five Towns.
I think it's a little east of that. Um, but it's just, sometimes you're on a screen in an Elks Lodge, sometimes you're in the Chinese theater. It really doesn't matter. It's just
Sure.
people get settled in, they get their popcorn, they sit down, they don't know what they're going to see. These blocks have been great. We've seen some amazing films during this festival run that we've had. I've
Sure.
seen, like films that are 90 seconds that are amazing. And I've seen
Yes.
some films from all over the world and documentaries that are short and wonderful. So it's been a treat for us because I've seen more
Yeah.
movies this year than I've ever seen in my life. And what people are making out there when they have a burning desire to tell a story and
Yeah.
might not have, the access to the regular kinds of distribution that they have. So I recommend, I'm sure people who are watching this know this, but to go out and see what people are making when they have, a little bit of resources and a story that they
Right.
have to tell. I think it's been great.
Right. 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 So just for a little clarity, because I did make a mistake when I said Lindenhurst, not Lindenhurst. I was thinking it's really Cedarhurst. So the five towns
Right.
are Lawrence, Cedarhurst, Woodmere, Hewlett, and Inwood.
That is
Inwood.
correct.
I used to work in Inwood. That's how long ago. Anyway, which it surprises me because there's like I thought there was nothing in Inwood, but there are communities on the outside of the main road. And the
Mhm.
reason why Inwood is somewhat popular because New York City, being Queens, is such a huge freaking place. Just to give people a little bit here,
It's a
hold on a second.
long island.
It's a Long Island, but just to
Yeah.
give a little context for folks to get this. So in Queens, this borough here is Queens. Whoops, I think I just destroyed it. No, I didn't. So this borough here is Queens,
There it
and this
is.
borough here is Nassau. However, as we zoom in, this part of Nassau, to get to Far Rockaway, you have to pass through Inwood to get to that part of Queens. So you have to go outside of the city to get back into the city, which is Far Rockaway. I did a
Right.
lot of growing up on Far Rockaway, man. That's like heaven. That's the beaches. Those are the beaches of New York City, the nice beaches of New York City that hardly anybody, even in New York City, goes to or knows about because it takes so freaking long to get out there.
Yeah,
Um,
there's some good surfing in New York City, people. If you've
yeah,
never heard
man, that's
if you haven't heard it
great.
before, this is where you're hearing it. There's great surfing down in
That's
Far
right.
Rockaway.
That's right. Far Rock had good surfing, great seafood, and it continues way out, even further out. Now go heading
Mhm.
west towards Brooklyn, which is where you get to Coney Island,
Right.
and it's a very very long stretch, very very long stretch. Very interesting geography, nice place to visit. I don't know what it's like now. It's might be kind of crazy now. I don't know. New York is a little mad these days. However, the New York. Let me ask you this question, Eric. What are some of your favorite films from, say, the early 2000s, early 90s
Early 2000s. I
that are
love
New York that have to do with New York?
that have to do with New York. I
Yeah.
love some of the like. Do you ever see Syndicate New York, the Philip Seymour Hoffman film that Charlie Kaufman wrote? That takes place in a
Oh,
mythical.
that's
he's
that's a
trying to build a.
maybe.
He's trying to make a theater project, and it becomes this kind of spun out, real crazy. I love
Maybe.
something that just came out recently that I love using New York as a setting is "You Hurt My Feelings." by
I've
Nicole
heard of
Hollis
this.
Center.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard of this.
Yeah, I
But
love.
you're talking about new films. But go on.
Well, I mean, just when you say New York, I'm thinking of films that not just shot in New York, but where you can really see. There was a movie called LIE about Long Island. LIE is the Long Island Expressway for those that don't know. But
Yeah, yeah.
you
The
know,
reason why I bring it up, the reason why I bring it up is
I
a
love
lot of
Good
folks.
Time. Also, I'm sorry, I
Yeah,
love Good Time by the
yeah.
Safdie
That's nice.
brothers, which
That's
takes
nice.
place all around
That's
Brooklyn, Queens, and also Nora is great. That just came out. That really showcases Coney Island and that area of Brooklyn.
Oh, that's precious. That's precious. And the reason why I get to that is, of course, I haven't lived in New York in a long time, but the New York that I grew up in, may not exist anymore. I don't know, but the nostalgia from that, which was really what captured well by uh, um, what's his name, Spike Lee, especially when he did that film with Ed Norton. Oh, 25th Hour, I think it was called.
Mhm.
Woo! A lot of his films, and what's his name? He worked a lot with the producer. Um, these are really old guys. I'm dating myself here, but
Well, no, you see the movies
Robert
when you
Robert De Niro, Robert De Niro.
sure.
A lot of the stuff that came out of there. My dad, he was born in Brooklyn, so he really has a very his perspective of New York City is a little different than my perspective of New York City. You know, my dad, he grew up during the time of when Giuliani and Trump were in school. They're all in school, at the same time, and the stories I hear, it's crazy,
I bet.
crazy life in those days. But just very, very interesting, and just someone had a phrase called selective nostalgia. Selective nostalgia, only remembering the good things or the most craziest things. But anyway, we're wrapping. We got to wrap up. So I asked you, what's next?
What's next is working on a feature version of this. It's already written. I actually wrote it before I made the
Hmm.
short, but it's
Hmm.
got the attention, like I said, of a production company, and we're sending it out to actors, and we'll see what happens with that. And then I've got a couple of other projects I'm working on, a feature, stage play,
Sure.
and heading out this year with some TV pilots that I've got.
Oh,
So
that's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, a bunch of writing, and also
Congratulations. Good.
yeah, it feels good to spread some stuff out there. And this short film festival that you guys do, and I'm grateful for the opportunity, because this is the only way that anybody is it's the best way for people to see your work, because
Yeah.
I started as a playwright, and I'm 99 people in a theater. This is like a gorgeous place where you have at the Night Center, where you have your festival, and a lot of people will be able to see it, and it's real
Yeah,
funny and
it's not
archive.
easy. Yeah, and it's not easy getting out to the community. There's not enough time to go deeper into that. But um, in Miami, you do realize that a lot of the people there are thinking that they're living in sci-fi already. So it's hard. It's a hard sale.
Mhm.
So, but it's interesting, and we'll see how many people show up. And this time around, we're really pushing it out on social media and advertising between, of course, now and the next couple of weeks before we have it. So, but we're happy to have you there, and we'll have more convo, and hopefully you get on a panel with us. We would like to get it from your through your lens. But
look
thank you
forward
so much.
Look forward to
Thank
being
you so
there.
much,
Thanks
sir.
so much, everybody. Appreciate it, Troy.
Thank you. Bye for now.
Bye.
All right. Well, that was a good one there. Great work, Eric. We really appreciate you. Everyone else out there, we'll see you in a couple of iterations.